And that was Reciprocity, of course, here, looking to try and push themselves a little bit further up the table as a whole. Gentlemen, just to kind of talk about Reciprocity here for a moment. A sensible spender, Mr. Scoom, seemingly here, looking to save up for a house. As a sensible person yourself, Martin, what do you think about that kind of strategy?
He's not sensible.
Well, I bought a house, so I have a house. So when you save up for that, although I wouldn't say save up is the right term, because you debt yourself with the bank, because right now the financial situation in most of Europe, you don't have money just to buy a house out of blue unless you're a poker player. But Scoom also did play poker, so he could have some treasures stored away somewhere.
Break down more of the world's financial situation, Martin.
No,
please.
thank you. Reciprocity though, they have been playing decent, but
I disagree.
They've been playing decent recently, but. To begin with, the first 2 weeks, they got 71 points.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks. That is not enough, and that's why they're in the spot they are now. Obviously, contesting vitality and taking some time, and then the next 2 weeks spending the time on trying to learn the new rotations from the new drop spots, learn how the teams play around them from the new drop spots. That has cost them a lot. So their failure coming into this and has been not dropping in a new spot that was open per se, and starting from that from the beginning and learning from that, because I feel like if they did that and if they did that from the start, I think they would maybe have been in a mid-pack situation rather than being still in the bottom four.
I'm going to be unusually bleak for a moment here, and of course the Reciprocity, they have, I think, taken a lot of our airtime when it comes to talking about a team that's been a little bit further down the table. And I think the reason for that, Froz, I think it's fair to say, is that these are true veterans of the PUBG scene, and we expect more from them the current position that they are in, and that's why they have garnered the airtime from us, because they were like, we just expect them to be pushing further and further and further. Is that fair?
I mean, we were expecting them to do much better than what they've been doing here so far.
Top 8 even for yourself.
Yeah, top 8 for me at least. But I mean, it also comes down to what they're doing right now, because I feel like they're not changing anything up, and it's definitely not working for them as they're playing with their playstyle right now. Some of the stuff is how their rotations, how slow they are, and they're not beneficial because they're really bad on playing Edge, and they're playing Edge more or less every game because of these slow rotations. I mean, let's take Miramar as an example. Liquid, one of the first teams, let's take the last game here for as an example. Liquid, one of the first teams to rotate out from Pochinki. Your Reciprocity, you looting... Picado, sorry. Your Reciprocity.
A long rotation. Take a plane first, fly over to Miramar.
I mean, you loot on the eastern side. The Circle is on western side. You know that Liquid is leaving early. They leave a lot of loot there because they're barely grabbing anything. So what you could do is start rotate early, go into Picado after Liquid, loot what's left there, and then continue, and you might be able to get yourself into a better position to play from.
That's a bold strategy.
If you extrapolate that, it's always the same time that they're leaving.
I would say that's. I think that's especially something you can take. For example, if for ENCE, we talked about it a few times before. I'm not sure we did it on air, but ENCE could, when you have a military circle, you know that Liquid leaves around 1 to 2 minutes after they looted. You could look into what they loot, what patterns they loot, and see what buildings would be free, and then ENCE could leave early. So they're not going to be having such a far rotation, and then they will have more information as well based on them being able to see who's knocked close to you, who see what fights are going on, also here with nades and everything going on. But for me, Reciprocity, and also Scoom alluded to it in the interview, for me, Reciprocity is, as you said, true veterans, and the reason why they've been giving so much airtime is also because we expect so much of them just from the pure skill and from the pure knowledge and experience these guys have together. Kind of the Zinedine Zidane and Beckham you can put together on the second team, you would expect them to do good, right?
But you're saying they're too old right now?
Not based on age, but based on experience. But for me, definitely what they're lacking right now, as you said as well, is the timing and time they spend on being passive rather than being proactive. And being this experienced, I would expect them to be a lot more proactive rather than passive as they are in times.
He called it soccer as well. No,
I didn't say soccer.
You did? You said soccer
team.
Did
I say soccer?
I do want to see them play much more aggressive. I want to see them play more aggressive because right now they are, as you're saying, too passive. And you see them rotate out away from fights and stuff. And they start losing players on those rotations. And then they're down to 1 or 2, maybe 3 people. and they just get scared after that. They don't take the fights after that.
And I feel like it's because they know it's important to have 3 or 4 guys alive in the end game to win.
Yeah.
To win the game.
Yeah.
But if you do that through 96 games and you don't get those 2-3 kills more on an average, then you just lose out on like hundreds of points over the course of 96 games.
They are really good players. They got the aim, they got the stuff, but they're not playing. Look at Chris in the end there, how he was alone and he took the fights against Unity, against Vitality. He didn't back down. If that was a Reciprocity player, I'd say that player would have been prone there instead.
One final question then for Reciprocity. Has time passed them by, or do you think that they can return to former glory? Are they beyond it? What do you think?
They need
it's a
to
hard
change.
question.
They need to change something up. They need to work something out because right now, whatever they're doing, it doesn't work for them. They gotta change the IGL, change the strategies, change the drop spots, do something.
Right. Well, that was the weekly lambasting of Reciprocity, I'm sure. But guys, you're hardest on the people you love the most.
That's also true.
We take a look at the points coming in here as a whole. We have another team who has breached 500 points, and it is G2 up towards the top there after that strong game from them taking the 3rd place, but with a lot of kills. And we have Team Liquid closing in on that 500 points as well. Let's take a look at Border Patrol as a whole. Razor Edge gets a few extra points, catching up to TSM. Any other things that kind of stick out to you guys right there?
Well, obviously Team Vitality now with a great game here in the end, and they're now only 2 points behind Reciprocity.
Yeah.
Reciprocity is only 2 points behind Unity, and Unity is only 10 points behind ENCE. So it's looking
Very
really
close.
scary for ENCE. There's a bit of a point gap up to M19, 15, 16 or so. So it's still close. And relegation, the fight out of relegation is going to take a long time. 1 more kill for Brexco, 2 more for It's Chris, and they're going to be hitting the hundreds. Some time after Rustamar, though. It's looking like it's going to be game 66 or 67 for them.
Well, Rustamar had 101, right?
Yeah, in 60 games.
Yeah, in 60 games.
Yeah. So a little bit behind.
How much does he have now, though? That is the question.
You mean in this phase?
Right now. As of the
Wait,
last...
Rustamar and Squeaky?
I'm going to guess 60 something.
Well, I think I brought it up last weekend. They had like 60 something back then.
No, they didn't.
Okay. Maybe I was like, it was thought of myself.
No.
Subconscious.
Rustamar has 50, Squeaky has 48.
Yeah.
So they're about half. Because Squeaky ended on 91, I think it was, last phase.
No,
Yeah.
95 or something, I think.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, could be.
Well,
90s, not 100.
94
90s.
to be
94.
more exact.
Okay, so he ended on 94. So they are around half.
interesting. Very interesting to see the correlation there between what we saw from the knocks and kills from It's Chris as well, with 99 knocks, 98 kills, very close to one another. Finishes what he starts.
It's very effective, and obviously him being he's a very close range fighter as well.
Exactly.
Obviously, he manages to steal some kills as well. I'm quite sure he has a fair share amount of stolen kills. Not that many, but Brexco is really effective at stealing kills. I'm also quite sure that he also has a fair amount of stolen from him. But that's the most important. TSM is one of the teams that gets a lot of kills stolen from them, but they don't manage to steal a lot of kills. So I think they're in a big minus right now, where G2 is in a bit of a plus. I think Brexco has 13 stolen kills right now.
So sure, it's a bad thing that you can't finish your kills, but sometimes it doesn't really matter in like TSM's case, for example, because I feel like a lot of times getting those knocks just to be able to make a move. So to get a knock on a team that is pressuring them, then they can make a rotation away from them or towards them, and that's when that kill gets stolen.
Yeah.
Fair assessment. Fair assessment. TSM, you guys mentioned in the previous game that they went to that dip a little bit earlier than maybe should have done. How do you assess when you're a team in these kind of circles, in this kind of lobby, when you go and take a dip like that? Because what is it?
So playing center extremely early is obviously important. Having a center position of phase 2, 3 is good. Phase 4 is also good. But when you play center in phase 4, 5, and 6, in an open spot where you have not too much cover and you have 2 teams within nade range of you, you put yourself in a really hard spot where you can't do a lot of impact and you can't really control the area that you're in. And with TSM, it was a good move. But if you're not ready with smokes, if you're not ready to counter nade, if you're not ready to spread out and not get knocked by multiple nades like we saw Razor Edge do, then you're putting yourself in a hard spot.
Yep.
So I'd rather like to see them playing on a bit more aggressive way to try to take out Winstrike maybe.
Very important skill on Miramar, and we're heading there once again. It's game number 66 as we head over to Pansy and Sims for all of the PUBG Esports action for Phase 2 of PEL.
Thank you, and indeed it is me and Ricardo here. Hello. Looking above Picardo. No, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. It's game 2 of the day. It's the second go of Miramar. We had Vitality picking up game 1. Nice little surprise there. Good for them, points-wise.
They need them.
They certainly do. Played it well. You could argue the spot they ended up in was going to be the best spot. So we'll see how it plays out now. I'm glad they brought up that TSM move. I think that's a very diligent point, you know, when to centralize up in spots like that that are very open and will depend on those around you as much as it can be yourself. So let's have a little look how this one plays out. Let's see where that circle goes. Hopefully get something a little bit new. Maybe a nice little prison circle is all I want.
I suppose the best thing about this one is the fact that everyone's going to be on home turf. There's going to be no difficult locations or huge wide swings. I say that. It all depends where the circle is. A nice northeast one would be nice, somewhere around Cruz de Val. Never goes all the way that as high up as that.
I want something different. Like, don't give me the southern circle. I reckon it's time for the southern circle now. Southeast.
Cruz. Slap bang over it. We want Vikendi circles. Those new circles on Vikendi where it's just like, oh, we're now completely in the ocean.
Swimming time.
Thank you. Boom.
Oh, hello.
Okay.
We got a northeast circle.
We're up there. And the better thing and the funner thing about this is that there's very limited amount of people already inside the circle. It's completely opposite the flight path.
I like this. This makes me happy.
This could be fun.
It's a bit of a, you know, not a complete change from the last game in the essence of you still have some of the teams who play Central still getting the benefit of such, but teams like Winstrike, Navi, FaZe will have to now, you know, shift themselves in. Raise your edge when you play on the edge of the map. You're going to be expected to, you know, sometimes struggle to get in. That's not going to be something unbeknownst to them. Same with like M19. You know, you get used to this sort of play, this sort of situation that can occur. But I do wonder how this will now play out with those rotation routes. That eastern road becomes littered with teams. The northern side, you're going to have Winstrike, FaZe, Navi, potentially all going up on that northwest. Could be really nice. And that central area is already littered with so many teams. TSM, NIP, Vitality, you know, it's a very scary wall of teams to try and get past.
TSM will go a little bit deeper this time, up towards water treatment. I mean, it's not too far from where they normally go anywhere, all around Hacienda and further afield. You do have smack bang in the middle of this circle.
I miss Smack.
Where is Smack these days? At least we've still got his emote, though.
That's the main thing.
We still have
That's all that really
Smack.
matters.
As long as we have the emote, we'll remember him.
Immortalized.
He commented on your post the other day, like, oh, he's still there.
He is
Hello,
alive.
Mr. Smack.
Yes. Please put Smack's face in chat.
But yeah, we do have this kind of crossroads in the middle of the map. There is a tiny little compound that you could potentially set up there. Maybe if the circle swings your way, you could keep that and potentially pick up a few kills here and there. Rex should have an easy run. I would expect them, rather than going more centralized where the terrain and ground is extremely hard to traverse with vehicles, just go the easy way. Just take the road. Take the coastal road and go further afield. Maybe you come in around Elazar. Maybe they even push it as far as Tierra Bronc if you want to keep going up high. There is potential the circle could go north, and we could be getting that one.
Oh, I'd love it to go further north. Just keep going up. Up, 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 up.
It's a rarity we see.
Yep, up.
Navi should have it easy. They'll just come in again, that northern road. Maybe they come around water treatment and sit around there and just protect it with their lives and push people back to get to it. It's a bit of an open valley. So they would have good leverage on other teams. NIP might even push it harder than them and get there before them and then hold them back, essentially, which would be a really good maneuver. Usually with NIP, they do loot San Martin for quite some time, so to see them being proactive on this is really nice.
Yeah, this could be a nice little switch up. They had a good game, maybe a little taste of what could have been, spurring them on here. That last game wasn't bad at all. They did get caught up by Raise Your Edge in the end. That was a horrible battle. It's like, whoever won that, they'd have to, you know, keep 4 alive, be clean to even get close to Vitality in that last game, who were just sitting there so pretty. And that, you know, extended long fight was just rough for both teams. Let's see where NIP go. I wonder if they're going to prioritize that water treatment area, just because it does tend to end there so often. Again, I feel we're starting to read tendencies in these circle moves, and I know the teams do the same. I don't know if it's the most priority spot at the moment, because it's not, you know, quite in the center. It's still, you know, slightly further north out towards the west. But these teams are starting to read it, and ENCE on the move quite early. That's not bad. I want to see more from ENCE. If anyone who watched the first phase of things always will want to see a little bit of that. Oh, Mikaz, giving it some welly. It's not gone brilliantly, but he's got it done. It's fine, it's fine.
This is fine.
This is fine. Yeah, I do. I want to see a bit more from ENCE. I wait to see the return, but I feel it's a little too late in the day for them to be looking towards the performance they once had. But maybe a little bit of a redemption arc would be something
if they
nice.
can still get out of relegation zone, that's all that matters,
thing.
right?
Yeah,
just
pretty
avoid
much.
that. I mean, I'd expect them to still qualify from that and be in the Pro League next season, even if they went down there, just because of the caliber of player that's on that roster, regardless.
Do a flip, Batesy. Do a flip.
Do a barrel roll.
Oh. Oh. Just when you see the nose of the bike, it just like tilts past like the apex. You're like,
I've made a huge mistake.
I am committed to this.
Rec-Arats are going further afield.
Good to see. I don't mind that.
That's fine.
Like Reciprocity, if this playstyle works for them, that's cool. I'm glad to see them in the circle. I think
it's always going to be a ballsy
statistically,
play because then you have to break a wall of 6 billion teams if it goes south.
But you have to commit somewhere, right? There's always the chance it goes north. It's how it is. For me, I just really like to see Reciprocity not be in the blue. I think statistically, I think it's Haxedi. I might be right, might be Rafi, but it's one of them that spent the most time in the blue of every single team. And it's like, I'd love to see them just in it a bit more. As said, I think the desk highlighted it well. We like this squad, we like who they are, but you want to see the results back that up. Now, TSM and NIP still having a little bit of that early scuffle. We said that could echo throughout this. Both of them had the better spots to begin in this circle when it came out, so they will be the first to be able to claim those high priority areas. Navi going on that very northern road, not surprising. They have very much the gateway open to them at the very start of the matchup to do so. FaZe, Winstrike, the Knights, all heading through somewhat of a similar rotation route out in the west.
That's the next battle that I am concerned about. For the simple fact of where NIP is set up camp. It could be a warning shot, and maybe then the Knights hunker down, and then ping-pong into back of Winstrike. A bit of a domino effect. 3 teams all on that western side. All getting really close to one another.
Yep.
And that comes up literally off the back of 2 teams, TSM and NIP, being so spread on 1-1-1 sharing.
And I wonder how much of this western play coming out from your FaZe, Winstrike, and Knights is just not wanting to get set up on by Navi, because Navi will play that slow. They'll happily take their time on that road. They've caught people doing it before. And I think we've started to see Navi, that northern drop that they do, that northern pick of where they loot, you have to respect it now. It does give them a great deal of entry to these sort of circles, actually most circles, to be fair. And sometimes you do have to give it a little level of respect. If you're like, right, we know they like to play this, we have to kind of be aware of it. But look at that area with Winstrike Knights. I guess Unity are in there, NIP. It's all to the west, kind of southwest, that hillside around water treatment is about to get littered with teams. It feels like that is, again, a lot of teams maybe banking on the idea that that could be a likely end, or just maybe a good launch pad going forward. It looks like CrowCrowd getting involved as well. They're heading through out in the east. Not too far behind them will be Raise Your Edge. They're going on a similar route. They're heading up north now. And Unity, hearing Snark here, Snark will be scouting this, and he pulls up nicely. That's not bad. That's diligent play, not overstepping. Dash instantly goes quiet, goes dark. The rest of the Knights are coming in. How good is this scouting from Snark? Because he seems unaware. Drayden's pulled into this. They haven't fully scouted. Blaston's there as well. I'm very surprised they're fully committed. I thought maybe just Narc might have been the man forward on this one, but now we've got everyone turning up from the Knights, so they could have a terrible surprise. No one's pulled the trigger yet. Discipline is certainly with Unity as Dastish waits to see who presents himself first. Blaston could be the one to get the glimpse. Orange and Tizarin aren't there in this compound.
Snark is looking that way, though, so I reckon he's heard the footsteps. Wanted also
He's
peeking through the
checking,
buildings, which suggests that they do now have the information. They're in here, but
Dastish is
in
the
that
scary
solo
one,
building.
yeah.
They've no idea. Blaston's holding. You can just see with the shoulder peek downstairs. We're going to see if he flips by. Circle does fixate. Initial bullets will be given away.
Dastish went for that.
Yeah, that gives away the element of surprise, and everything that he built up is non-existent now, surely.
So in my mind, the other potential is he's playing
Winstrike's
debate. Yeah, Winstrike have just got this is the entirety of the area. It's very, very lit up. I was imagining that maybe Dastish was trying to play bait to allow his teammate to maybe get a bit of a step blast on potentially, and maybe hope that Orange and Tizarin could have supported quicker, but Drayden stayed alive. Blaston now has to try and find his way out, which he's done. Unity have just been pushed out of this compound. The Knights played that well. It was Winstrike who helped them, of course. FaZe going to go on a further northern swing. That might be the shots you hear in the background, but yeah, Unity have had to peel away from this one. FaZe on rotation going past Winstrike. So that's again just kind of that hop up in the north. So that's how that kind of went down. Again, Winstrike in a very good position, as are NIP, Team Liquid, and TSM. The fan favorites are about to clash.
4 versus 4. Here we go then. 2 powerhouse teams. Rory holding the angle on the backside of the compound.
This.
Michael's got a backup as well. Gustav will keep point on the building, which gives him a priority line of sight because he's up on an elevated position.
Wookie's, yeah. Wookie's the weaker link position-wise here. He doesn't have that full hard cover that the others have to work with.
Yeah, that's
untradeable as well. Instantly,
thing.
Team Liquid spot that out. They are very good at kind of focusing down the weaker points of maybe a chain link fence. They'll find that little bit of a weaker piece and really pressure it. Ibby already going to try and find a deeper angle to just basically catch anyone trying to cross towards saving the teammate. Gustav spots out a couple of teammates, a couple of players, and the fire comes in. Michael gets a glimpse of Jeems. Now the push looking like it wants to begin. Gemty's got the nade. Michael buys time, putting his down, and just allowing Rory to continue to hold this angle. Wookie is dead in the water.
I'm just about to say, provided Rory doesn't show his face, they won't know 2 are holding this side. But unfortunately, that shot from a distance, which I think is Unity, has got involved and forced them back. Gustav's still in that building on his own. I'd assume maybe he has the information because he's up top as well. But here comes the push. 1, 2, 3-man stack.
Nice from Michael. Where's Rory?
Well, he's all kinds of damage at the back. He's had to be forced out of this one.
Oh, Rory had to have traded back into it, and he couldn't. Michael did everything he had. He fell back on 10 HP, but Team Liquid are so powerful on these pushes. Yes, they suffered when it came to Jeems. Sure, he's been knocked. Now Michael's got the heal off. Can he keep the pressure on while there's still that chance, while it's still up in the air? No, Ibby's turned up. Ibby's your danger man. Now fired from the back lines. Michael is in all kinds of trouble, and he's got to know it. Ibby's on the hunt, and you do not like Ibby when he gets bloodthirsty. Michael knows he's there, but how much does he get to see? Not a lot. Gemty puts him down, and Team Liquid can be recovered here. Ibby's going to be ignored because Jeems is bleeding out faster. Gemty will get the revive, and they should be able to stabilize. TSM, you felt for a second they might have had it, but the trades weren't there, and I thought that maybe Rory could have held down on that angle, but he just couldn't get it done.
Both times, both players stuck their ass out of that end of the compound, and CrowCrowd tapped him and just forced them. Oh, excuse me, either CrowCrowd or Unity. One of the, it must have been Unity due to where they are on the opposing side. And it kind of broke up what they were trying to set up. Rory was holding the element of surprise, and should Liquid have pushed that, he would have got the upper advantage and be able to get the initial knock. But the commitment to the cause that comes out of Liquid when 3 players just rush like that, there's nothing you can do against it. There's always, fair enough, if there's going to be a knock, there will always be a trade-off. There will always be a refrag in some point or another.
That's the essential part.
Great work from him. That's a big scalp, and that also kind of pays off into the story that you were talking about at the start, Lauren. TSM are the gatekeepers to that top 5. They've just gone down in 16th. This is where all these other teams start looking onwards and say, you know what? It's open for the taking. Let's get a big game here. Let's get some points and let's jump into that position and make it to the Grand Slam.
Yeah. This should spur these teams on now. Everyone's trying to get towards that south side of water treatment. They know it's the big next target. You got DA sending it as well, right next towards Team Liquid and Unity. They're all looking for places to go. The Knights get a glimpse on it as well, potentially. You've got G2 laying down fire towards Team Liquid. This is Fuzz facing a bit of a battle. He did find VOD, but I think there was an instant trade out with him coming in from Winstrike, so they are not letting him get away with much. MBS is there towards Vitality, maybe a nice little bit of revenge from the first game, but Uber's hearing this and set. This is a risky play at this time in the game, pulling up. No idea that Uber is there. Bye-bye set. I don't think you're recoverable. Nade goes over, and it's a little bit of a weak throw, but it is what it is. Crashes coming in, though. Compounds now being pressured. This is Vitality right on the doorstep of MBS. MBS out the window. Back up he goes. Shadow, the hip fire, the AK. That 7.6 tears down MBS.
It was a zealous rush. I'll give him that. He fancied it, but unfortunately doesn't pay off. Kemba might go for the revive of the Sentry, or he'll just peel away from the fight. I mean, you'd expect him to peel away. The vehicle, he could pull up in front of him and res him, but it's asking to die, in my opinion. And this is one of CrowCrowd's biggest failures. Don't get me wrong, Set's a good scout, and he's a good fragger individually, but going off on your own, it's the constant thing we keep seeing from CrowCrowd over and over again. They are wide split. When one player goes down, not only are you non-revivable, but if the rest of the team thinks, okay, we'll try and get you back up, you're relying on them and putting them out of position to do so.
God, look at this. Again, these compounds are so heavily fought for. You've got Vitality right next to NIP.
Look who's in the middle again, both teams. They're literally front and center.
Is Shadow just pushing this? Shadow's in here. Shadow's just gone for a wonder. That's brave or stupid, I don't know which. We'll find out when the outcome comes through. Gaxi did find Shadow. Yeah, it was a little bit of an isolated play. I don't know if he had full information or just didn't expect them to be in this building. I don't know what the plan was. You already had a bit of pressure between the two. Jazza trying to get back into it, but Gaxi being the world's biggest nuisance, and we know NIP with nades, and I think Jazza might know it as well. Yeah, damage comes through, but it doesn't get the job done, it just gets it started.
Natus is in there, so getting the read of the info. Navi also laying down the flyer.
Jazz is going in, look at him flying in here, this is big.
He has to.
This is actually impressive. This is brazen. Gaxi looking for a way out here, but he's missed the timing slightly. Vitality both are in the compound now. They're both in this building, and Vard's across the way. Nasus takes down Miraku. Now they're in an awkward spot because they block each other. They're all in together. They missed the jump on Jazza coming over, and Nasus was already in the compound.
The window that he was holding there was the reason that Jazza, excuse me, runs so quickly. If you're going to get across, you had to do it then for the simple fact of distraction by the sound, and also the grenade. It will just completely throw you off mark. One of those grenades going off, the volume, the audible, the shaking of the screen and everything else, it distracts you. He pushes across and then they can work as a two to take these two out of this building now. And they control this. Removing them 2 players from that building has given the lay of the land. Unfortunately, they might have to fight again though, Lauren, because Team Liquid, they also fans this compound. It's front and center, it's prime position.
Yeah, Gemty got knocked on the way here. He's unrecoverable again. And the nades come right through Team Liquid. There's no rest for the Wicked, neither is there for Vitality. Everyone's struggling to find any sort of place here. You've got the Knights now moving towards M19. You have Reciprocity, G2, ENCE, all in the east, suffering between each other. There's nothing here to be comfortable. Look at Vard's angle. He's about to be swarmed. We've got everyone battling.
What is happening, elite player? A few knocks for himself. Gemty confirmed as well, Pokemon. Oh, that's cross map and that was on transition. The grenades are up. They could be good.
They are good. Snark finds Constantine. The reply comes out from elite player. How good is that response? It does make it just to the edge of the rock. It does get reels.
Wait, they got him in that corner? What? He threw through the roof. He got it through the friggin' roof. He's playing basketball. What's going on?
God only knows. All right, let's take stock of what's just happened, what positions we're in. Most of the teams have moved into spot now. Most of them, apart from the Eastern teams, you do have the battle over here. This is the G2 Unity fight going on. They had a 2-2 split further east as well towards Reciprocity. You're seeing Kane come back from that, but Chris Braxco in a battle with Orange, and actually Kane gets lost on way. It was Orange finding on the way, and that's going to spur on the attack now. You can see the rest of G2 wanting to try and trade in, but there's no trade available.
Rafi on 2 deer as well, so that must have also been transition. G2 left with 2 men standing. Good play from Orange to pull back rather than just running out willy-nilly. Blaston's still in there and he can support him from this angle. We've seen it before, Chris doing with the grenades, I think just last week. Managed to post one by, but that's a nasty angle. Gives him a warning in the shoulder. I'm surprised he went for it and didn't wait for the over peak. They could hit him in the head and go for the confirmation. It's one thing we know about Chris and Brexico. They have no problems pushing it, checking the doorway, making sure they're not in, leave the door open just to provide a bit of coverage if they do want to push the backside of this one. Hax might go down to the blue here, begging for help. Scoom also down. Oh, this isn't good. Easy for ENCE, cleaning up. Reciprocity on the outskirts of this circle, but I think there's only 2 up for ENCE as well, so they've definitely had a hammer in over on this side. And really, once this circle updates, unless you've got vehicles, you run in the cornfields.
Yeah, for me at the moment, Navi in prime position. I think everyone's seen that. That's not bad going for them. Razor Edge, good spot towards the north. ENCE are cleaning up towards Reciprocity out in the east, but you still have Rafi and Shiv standing, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like G2 wanted to make a play or maybe a bit of a move, try and find a way around, but oh my god, that vehicle pull-up was very close to Rafi.
Orange cross map. Just trying to get the information, feed it back to the team. 6 more should probably go back downstairs from the blue. Unfortunately, the knock is there on Tizra, and he left it quite some time. I'm surprised he didn't get up closer, to be honest. Left it way too late to be running that gauntlet. Circle fixate on the middle. Navi,
this is going to kill a lot of teams.
Prime position for them. Liquid and Vitality, I think, will stay put for now just because of the numbers. Shiv bites the bullet, unfortunately. Pokemon spots his face. I'd assume that's 1 man standing in the form of Rafi, and he's very up close against that vehicle, and it's not blown up yet, Lauren. That grenade might do the job.
Yeah, let's see if it goes.
Incoming.
Oh, it's so good. Yep. GG. What? You're a lucky boy, Rafi. And the car, is the car even blown up yet?
No.
Right.
If it's smoking, that's going to be a bullet, and it's done.
Yeah, I think it's a 1 shot away from basically going up here. How is he alive? Rafi, you're a lucky man.
I don't know.
The PUBG gods are kind to you. Just the body block. Just, I will die for you. Trifly and Mikas, though, do hold the eastern side. The north is still very, very busy. FaZe going to have to find a way forward here. They can get onto the hillside. CrowCrowd could be an issue for them, though. They're going to slightly slow down their progress. G2 taking
the fight to him.
Yeah, pretty much. They moved out early. Brexco's already got himself to a good position, and they've just said, Chris is just off the chain. This guy, again, there's the knock. It's time to go. He's found his window of opportunity, but he's got to run the gauntlet against everyone. Navi are looking his way. There's only so much he can do here. He's found a bit of cover. His last med goes in. He's already boosted up. He's stimmed up, but he wants to get away from Blaston. Already, Ibby spots out some of the DA members working in. Iro puts down some fire to keep him humble, but DA have found a spot. Is it in? I can't see. Yes, it is. So he's turned up. DA have turned up towards the Vitality Team Liquid fight, and the Knights aren't far away either. There's the Knights coming down the hill. That's Drayden, and these are the nades. NASA's finding 6 mode. That is not good for DA. Rafi from the blue sprays in, praying for it to hit. He's run out of options. He hip fired down. Truthfully, what is that? He's dead in the water, but he made a good little go of it at the end.
He made a decent run. The Knights, though, they take full advantage of the situation over here with Digital Athletics. Nasus did throw a pre-nade in. 6mo was already tagged up, a beautiful death. Which way do you look, my friend? You got the Knights on one side, Vitality the other, and then just to top it all off, Liquid in the buildings. There's nowhere for him to go. Death waiting on 3 different angles. Blaston still did make it in. Chris did the damage to the rest of Unity, but they managed to survive by hook or by crook. They are in the fields and they are working with whatever they have. The Knights have the man advantage here. I didn't realize they still had 3 up. I thought they were down to 2. Provided they don't get shot in the back, because there is a team who have the line of sight on, and I assume that's Winstrike from one of the priority compounds over on the west. The dangerous side for them is the fact that they have the low ground. The height advantage from where Nasus is might provide just enough of a gap to take full advantage and knock one of the players, then maybe grenade in, but we'll see. Circle this time round. She goes to the north. Holy Navi. Yeah,
Navi, golden. Let's look beyond Navi, because yeah, they can get picks around, but it's not really about them. For me, okay, Raise Your Edge are good. CrowCrowd can shuffle. FaZe might fall towards CrowCrowd. We'll see. It's that southern area. That is the scary one for me here. You look at Team Liquid, you look at everyone else in that little compound. They're all fighting for it. The nade came through towards Nasus. That could be go time. They might try and work off the back of that. Liquid, yeah, there they go. They're going to try and push this one. A beautiful death could crossfire, but I don't think he will. Jazzy, your last man standing. How much can one man do? Not a lot. Vitality are down in 11th. The Knights pushed forward. They got the job done. A beautiful death could play spoiler. James held back. Ibby moved forward while the maybe timing was good for it. He's taken a lot of flack from Navi for it, and maybe he might get some attention from Brexco, but look at that fire from Chris. Big shot towards Brexco. That means now he's down. Chris knows that area is not safe.
Raise Your Edge are laughing for the simple fact that Navi can't see them. They can play the hillside and have a look at all the teams downwind, and they are defended from Navi for now. They have to be very aware, though, that there is this battle going on off-screen.
Oh, God, Chris. 3 HP is all he's got.
He's still not Fred.
No, but here's that fold.
CrowCrowd. Rock and roll. Chris goes down. G2's out. Grenade. Low ball from ENCE. Job done. Kemba. He will fall. It all comes down to the tab.
Nice.
And all of a sudden, Uber comes down the corner. FaZe. They annihilate CrowCrowd. Bye-bye, boys. They continue their run. But they have to be aware, while that's been going on, it's a big, big split. Raise Your Edge have gone for the 2-2. Raise Your Edge are knocking on the door up in the north. If they come down on FaZe, they might be able to wipe them out here.
Yeah, Drayden just went off towards Liquid as well. I think Liquid might be down to just Ibby. Yeah, it is just Ibby. We do see Winstrike still in an okay spot. Not ideal, obviously, in comparison to Navi. Best Lodge finding Jorski, putting them on notice. That was a long old nade as well. There goes Unity out in the blue. Jorski is dead in the water. Tixu has very little to work with. I say a decent spot just purely because it was at least central. It was something, but it's not going to really be doing much. There goes the nade. Navi coming alive here in the final couple of moments, keeping control of their fields. Drayden trying to keep alive, but no, a beautiful death finally appears. He bided his time. He waited so long, and now Navi look towards FaZe.
The solo snake just comes out of the hangar. Time to strike and picks up a placement as well as a point.
Wait, what? Chris just got an angle on Pokemolodoy. They found an angle. They found an eastern angle on this. That might humble Navi slightly here.
He's instant him as well. So they take away the man advantage, and now it's all eyes on the prize. That compound is up for the taking if they can make a breach on this. ENCE's also gone down, so all these teams that are in front of them, they're just falling bit by bit, brick by brick. Mexi at least confirms one of the Winstrike members here to take and claim this compound, so he's got something to work with, maybe some more meds on the box there should he have to upgrade any of the helmets. But that building is where we are going to And I tell you what, raise your edge. They've got a good chance to make a backside breach on this one.
Yeah.
If Navi can be distracted and focus too hard on either Mexi or Tixu.
But I don't think they will. I don't think they will be. I think the problem for me is that they can't cover everything, right? They can't look in all these angles. Now they're down to 3. But realistically, I don't see Tixu moving too much. I know he'd want to. That's, you know, you obviously don't want to be just by a tractor. But I don't know how much more you're going to be able to get done. Whereas Raise Your Edge, the terrain they're on, I don't know how much room there is in that circle.
Sigsy spotted Mexi. Fastreo's got a K9. If Fastreo can hit the head there, with it only been a solo player, you're not going to get a revive. The team's gone. You can keep working, then it's one less team to worry about. Need to make every single shot count. Mexi does have to move here. I'm intrigued to know how many smokes across the team for Raise Your Edge they have, because the only way they take down Navi and approach that building, if they want to approach the building, that is, you've got to smoke it up. You can't smoke your approach. You literally throw every smoke you have at the building, deny line of sight, and then push, push, push. Do it as a unit, do it as a team, take the compound, take the win.
It's viable. Navi preparing themselves. You can see the stims, the boosts being put through, do everything, get themselves ready. It looks like Raise Your Edge trying to move forward. Mexi gets a spot. That goes down. That's Chris. There is a trade. Instantly, Tixu is there. Nice work from Tixu. That's points in the pocket and a placement as well. Mexi going down, his phase eliminated. Chris is out on a bit of an island. Smoke goes up. There could be a revive, but we know Navi. We know their aggression. They see weakness. They will push it. They will fight it. Menox better be ready, because here comes Navi. They are close enough by. I see a nade with a doozy. That goes up and over, but how much are they exposing here? Can Tixu get an angle, or is it time for him to move up? Fast Rail caught a glimpse. He's got to know what's happening now. He needs to be the gatekeeper. He has to prepare. He has to hold the line here. And I think Navi know that now. They put on enough pressure, but the time slipped away. Chris's revive has come in. They can't now try and take that advantage.
Both of these teams have potential to be punished by Tixu. If he sees any single body, he's just going to shoot it, regardless. He might not pick up the point, but if he gets the knock, it affects the team in such a domino effect. You see that knock, you take advantage, you push on it. Tixu's already done damage to Mexi and picked up a placement and a point, as you mentioned.
Nice peek. Just crouch peeking that ridge line, making sure you don't silhouette too much. I see a car coming out. Are they just going to try and send it into some sort of cover? It looks like that might be the case. Leave Sigsy and Fast Rail together. They're still safe enough. I know it's not ideal, but they're going to try and find something else. That's a very risky play. You've got Tixu on the other side. They're going to try and pull up. They've got to know he's here. They've got to know there was a pressure, there was a person, there was someone. The Finn waits patiently. Catches a glimpse of Menox. Is that enough? No, it isn't. Tixu, nicely done. But now Raise Your Edge have hedged their bets. This is big play from them. This is proactive play towards late game. Yes, Navi are still very much in the center, but Raise Your Edge are keeping the pressure up.
You've got to give credit to the shot caller there. Whoever made that call, push on Tixu, take his angle, take him out, and now they can hold Navi dead to rights. The only problem... Death from above.
God, that is a big nade. I'd love to go first person, see how much utility these guys have left. I see no nades on the doozy, no smokes. Okay. Send your best lot is what I would love to be seeing. Just spin through them. Still utility and Raise Your Edge. That's not bad. They've got some smokes there. They could get close if they need to.
They've boxed them in. The problem is that Navi individually, regardless of how many players they have up, you're going to have a difficult period to try and take them down. They have this house. They don't have to show themselves. They don't have to overextend. They can wait for Raise Your Edge to make all the mistakes here. Chris is going off on his own.
He's extending. This is when you tell your teammates, I'm doing something dumb, just hold the angles. If he can get a deeper angle on this, he can control the other side of the building. It's a high risk, high reward.
If he spots Senya.
Exactly. It's going to keep themselves being able to, you know, deny the flank, which is not a bad idea.
Though.
Exactly. If it opens up, then it's an even 3v3 at least.
Smokes are going down, which suggests they're going to push the wall.
Where does this end? Is it outside the house? It's just outside the big compound. So if you want to talk late game preparation...
Oh, he's baiting the smokes. He's baiting the nades.
This is going to be interesting. Fast Rail's on the move. He's kind of adjusting around, trying to dodge those nades. The smokes go up. We already have Senya trying to be the kind of anchor point here, allow them to rotate around. That's what Chris was looking for. That was the angle he went to take, and that was very well played, very, very intuitive. But he can't overextend. He can't get himself picked here. He is very important to the rest of Raise Your Edge. Doozy's found Sigsy. That's bad. That's one of the teammates in the north. Fast Rail's moved up in the meantime. Menox is in the car trying to power. Oh, Chris! What a shot and what timing. That opens up the push of Doozy now. He knows they're at the door. They're at the wall. They're at the gates. The tag comes in, it's good. Fast Rail trying to dodge the bullets, but he's got danger everywhere else. Imagine if that position was still there for Sigsy. Imagine the angle he'd have. It's denied now. The nades are coming through. This is anyone's game.
Takes out Sigsy, at least gives away the information. He can stop that from happening. The sniffer dog is dead. They don't know where
Senya's
Fast Rail
back
is.
up.
They do not know where Fast Rail is. With all those grenades going off, Menox from nowhere. Long balls in, a doozy down. And now they need to make a push on it. They have to take full advantage of this. You've got to collapse and you've got to go now.
Senya is going for the big play as well. He's looking for options. Fast Rail's been found. Bestaloch found an angle deep on the northern side. The nade from Chris. The timing could not be better. And Senya left in the 1v2. He's got Chris and Menox to find. How does he play this out? He's looking for angles. He's looking for anything. Chris executes Bestaloch and Senya moves in. Getting closer. He's looking to find Menox. Is he there? A doozy. Bleeding by the wayside. He can't be helped here. Fast Rail on the heel. He's back up. It's a 1v3. This situation is rough. It's tough. Can he pull it off? Senya on the peak. Spots out Fast Rail. Unleashes. That's information. That's good. The picture being unraveled. And what a play from Raise Your Edge.
Fast Rail at the end. No help, no helmet, but steps up at the right time. And it's time to shine. Job done. They take down Navi. But I tell you what a well-fought battle from both sides. That could have gone anywhere. The headshot finally from Chris, that overzealous deep angle. Nailing that one headshot basically just opened up the entire fight.
Yeah.
Menox then floods through with a grenade. But honestly, it could have gone anywhere. Especially when you're talking about from Sigsy at the start going down early. Why would you get in a vehicle? I was quite concerned. If it had popped Menox out of there, that would have stopped the initial grenade that followed up from that player. That was just on the
I'm
dime.
sure we'll find out on the couch, but honestly, yeah, that I think you highlighted it. It's the high risk, high reward angle Chris went for there that matched Senya. Senya was trying to do the same. He knew that was where maybe, you know, if they had to leave that building eventually, which a center point would probably entail it would be, you need that angle as safety. And if Chris could just